Space Marine 2 has been a long-awaited sequel that appears to live up to the hype. As far as the PC port itself, it's actually pretty good. We compared a few of my Ryzen chips in yesterday's video, and today we're going to do the same, but we're going to focus on the Ryzen 7700X versus the Ryzen 7800X 3D. I was actually curious to see how much of a difference that extra vcache makes, because this game needs all the help it can get when it comes to CPU resources. I'll be using my RTX 4090 for a GPU at 3440 by 1440 DLSS quality and the ultra graphical preset. That will ensure that we're consistently CPU bound. Let's get on it. On to the benchmark then. We have the 7700X on the left and 7800X 3D on the right. And what I've done here is I've captured about 10 minutes worth of gameplay. This is the beginning of the second mission in the game, and I've split that into two parts. The first part consists of me making my way all the way to the bunker, clearing a bunch of enemies on the way. That's most of the gameplay of this benchmark. And then the second part is a very intense battle where we're going to reset the FPS counter and see how both these CPUs handle a very intense situation, basically. The way I do it is I compare the averages and 1% lows between both CPUs. Very straightforward. And what are the averages and 1% lows after 7 minutes of gameplay? Well, the 7700X averages 118 FPS. The 7800X 3D averages 142 FPS. So the X3D is basically 20% faster than the 7700X on the averages. And for 1% lows, the 7700X is at 89 FPS and the X3D is at 112 FPS. That is a 26% lead for the 7800X 3D over the 7700X on the 1% lows. That is a pretty nice gain. Now, as far as the CPUs, because I didn't mention this, the only thing that I've tweaked on both of them is I've used the curve optimizer to do a small undervolt, -15 all core on both of them. And they both have PBO enabled. That's it. For memory, we're using a 32GB kit, 6000 MHz, C30, kind of what AMD recommends, nothing special. It's the same kit on both of them, same motherboard, everything. So yeah, this is very interesting. Actually, it's a pretty noticeable gain for the 7800X 3D in this extremely CPU-bound scenario. And one thing that was kind of crazy, though, is how much hotter the 7700X runs. Now, I'm cooling both CPUs with a Corsair 360 H150 LCD AIO, so it's a fairly premium AIO for both of them. But yeah, man, this game stresses the CPUs, I guess. The 7800X 3D is very close to 80 degrees. And it's also consuming less power too, which is nice. I mean, it's like consuming a third less power than the 7700X, basically. So yeah, very interesting gains here, but not really all that surprising, I guess. But I guess this concludes the first part of the benchmark. We'll go ahead and take a look at the second part now, which, like I said, it's about 2 to 3 minutes worth of gameplay, but it is a very intense battle where there's a lot going on. So we're going to reset the FPS counter there and see how they compare. So yeah, let's do that. We're now inside the bunker, going to open up this gate, and as soon as we drop down is when this battle starts. And that's where we're going to reset our FPS counter. And we're doing that right now. And we're going to go ahead and engage. And here, actually, the differences are the same. My 7800X 3D run was actually a lot sloppier than the 7700X. Because the 7700X, I did that the second time, so I became more familiar with the battle. But it's very crazy here. There's a lot of stuff going on. Now, as for the differences between the two, like I said, they're similar. We have 106 FPS for averages on the 7700X versus 134 FPS for averages on the X3D. That is a lead of 26% for the 7800X 3D over the 7700X for FPS averages. 1% lows, we have 88 FPS on the 7700X and 107 on the X3D. That is a lead of 22% faster for the X3D over the 7700X. So very interesting. Temps are still a bit high, of course, but I guess that's the nature of the game. There's a guy with a 13700K, I think, that left a comment on my yesterday's video saying that his temps were off the chart, and that's kind of what I've heard from other people too, even just sitting in a menu. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I mean, other than that, both of these CPUs offer a very good gameplay experience, I would say. I mean, they're both pretty at around 100 FPS. I would consider that a high refresh rate experience. So yeah, that's my video comparing the 7700X versus 7800X 3D. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below, let me know, and I appreciate you watching. Please give the video a like if you like it, and consider subscribing if you want to see more content. And I don't know, follow me on Twitter at TerrawarePC. I made a Twitter very recently. So yeah, but anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.